Hello, Feedback Friday. It's me, Dave. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not Dave. How's it going, guys? It's Halloween here at the office, and I thought I'd dress as a little Dave costume. I got the sweater, collar, the tie. He doesn't have a tie on today, though.
No, I don't have a blue tie. I guess I'm going to wear a tie. I
brought him some of my cycling clothing that he might wear. He might wear it today. We'll see. Thought I'd just have a little fun and fake the intro, but anyway, happy Halloween if you guys dress up. And now here's Dave with the news. Bye.
Thanks, Dave. Or should I say thanks for the
updates,
guys. Hello, good morning, welcome.
Hello. Okay, anyway,
hello.
I'll leave you to it.
MouseHunt, welcome, Feedback Friday. Well, there's Brian is off in the distance there. How's everybody doing today? It is October 26, 2018. Thanks for joining us. See a few people in the chat here. Hello, Dennis. Hello, Chong, Jason, Eileen, Ryan, KDM, Ben. Hello. Well, today, it's going to be kind of just a quick one to fill everybody in what we're working on here behind the scenes. And go over kind of a new account management system that we've been working on, give everybody a quick update on the Great Winter Hunt, as well as the marketplace overhaul that we're working on. Ooh, where's my camera? What's going on here? My streaming software is being weird. Oh, there we go. All right. So first up here, wanted to fill everybody in on an account management system we've been working on. So we're just about ready to start testing this, and this is totally the wrong slide. Hold on, there we go. This is account management. All right, so we're just about ready to start testing in overhaul the account preferences and settings page, as well as you'll be able to register an account from MouseHuntGame.com. So previously, the only way you could start playing the game is you had to start playing on apps.facebook.com, so you had to play on Facebook, or you had to make a new account from the mobile app. But now you'll be able to sign up straight from MouseHuntGame.com as well. So that means going forward, players will no longer need to use Facebook, which before was the case, but you would have had to use the mobile app. But you can also see above me the little personal information section. You'll be able to set things like your display picture, your name. Here's where you're able to change your login details, change your password, that sort of thing. And over there, we got game settings, which I think that MouseHunt logo is covering up the actual toggles there, but you'll be able to manage all the game settings that you currently can. We're trying to consolidate that a little bit between browser and mobile as well. And my laptop fan is turning on maximum speed, I think. Dennis says that's really nice. MouseHunt is fully independent now. I guess so, yeah. Now you can finally just come to MouseHuntGame.com, start playing. And even those little details that you needed Facebook for, things like setting your name and display picture, now there's alternatives. The display picture, we're going to use a system called Gravatar, which I believe gravatar.com is their site, but it'll walk you through that as well when you go to set up your profile. And that just makes life a little easier for us, where we don't have to handle the moderation for display pictures, and we don't have to handle actually storing all the images. So it's a bit of a third-party site. You'll click to change your display picture. It'll take you over to the Gravatar site and should walk you through how to set up your Gravatar. We'll shift gears over to the Great Winter Hunt. I think I have the slide up there. There we go. And so I got Great Winter Hunt and the marketplace here in this one collage. But with Halloween out the door, now we're focusing on the Great Winter Hunt. By popular demand, the golems will be returning, which we spoke about, I think, earlier in the month. As well as earlier in the month, I think it was October 5 was the first Feedback Friday of October, if I recall. We got lots of other feedback from hunters about the Great Winter Hunt, because that's when we're just starting to plan it. But we kind of firmed up the design quite a bit, a couple loose ends to tie down, wrap up as well. But we incorporated a lot of feedback that we had from hunters then. We're going to kind of refresh some of the theme. So you'll still be collecting golem parts, you'll be constructing snow golems, you'll send them out to collect loot and explosive crackers, but then what you do with the explosive crackers, we're going to mix that up a little bit, tie that in with a different sort of boss mouse for the year, a different theme going on. As well as attraction rates. That was kind of a big piece of feedback we had from players as well, was it was kind of frustrating if you're looking for a specific mouse, whether you're doing a map, working on King's Crowns, or you just hadn't caught that Christmas event mouse yet, or the Great Winter Hunt event mouse yet, and you're looking to catch it for the first time. So as you capture the boss, you'll unlock the ability to hang a little decoration on your HUD, and that's going to influence the encounter pool. And there's so many Great Winter Hunt event mice now that we can kind of have fun with playing with different encounter pools depending which decoration you're hanging. That'll certainly help you with maps, with your crowns, finding those mice for the first time, as well as we're going to tie the rewards into that a little bit as well. So when you hang a decoration and you get certain mice, they might drop something to help you get all the limited edition rewards. So you might swap your decoration a few times as the event goes on, and the HUD, we're planning to make it change, look a little different depending which decoration you're hanging. LTJ asks, was the server stable a few days back, keeping having to re-log in? I think we were having a couple little hiccups here and there where it may have been losing people's login sessions. So that might explain what was going on. We had a little bit instability too launching Halloween. We had kind of a big surge of traffic as well, which we took a little bit to figure out how to work through that. But I all the way play at Facebook, so big shift, I must slowly adapt. Well, you've been, by all means, there's a comment from Ryan in the chat. You can still play on Facebook. We're not going to get rid of apps.facebook.com by any stretch of the imagination. So you can just keep playing from there if that's what you prefer, by all means. Actually, just double check here. I started logging sort of where people play the game from. What are we at here? So 65% of people use the website. 56% of people use the Facebook version of the game. 36% of hunters use the Android app. 30% of hunters use the iOS app. And 23% of hunters use the Android widget. And now that doesn't add up to 100 because obviously you can play from more than one thing, right? If you play from the browser and you play from Android, you kind of get put in two buckets. So it's going to add up to more than 100. If everyone used everything, all of them would be 100, meaning, hey, everybody uses everything, which would be pretty crazy to think about. Do existing players need to re-register, asks Red in the chat. No, by no means. Your existing username and password, if that's what you use at MouseHuntGame.com, it's still going to work as intended. It's just kind of a different way that new players can start playing the game. I think I missed a few other comments here. What else we got? Will magic hats and summoning bells be coming back? Yes, they will be coming back, so you can use those on your golems. Overhaul the Great Winter Hunt cheeses, please. It is a bit of a smorgasbord of cheeses. Typically what we do is the older cheeses will help you collect the new cheese for the year. Is the mechanic mostly the same, though? Usually Great Winter Hunt is pretty different from year to year. It's going to feel very similar, but a different theme, kind of themed up to the new sort of antagonist for this event. The widget has been shaky for the past few days. Make sure you're up to date. I know Kevin resolved an issue. It's always been a little bit not quite 100%, and we're trying to firm it up best we can, but it's a little bit fickle the way that widget code works and how you make a widget. I just got the Android app. Love the widget. Glad to hear it, Ben. For sure. I know Giorgio uses it fairly extensively. iOS has a widget as well. I don't specifically log usage there, but you can play on. If you have iOS as well, you can add it to your lock screen, and then let's see if I'm coordinated enough here. And you can sound the horn from there. Hey, I caught a Spice Reaper mouse. I know that's the majority of hunting. I do it that way. Widget is for passive areas. Yeah, certainly, it's tough to kind of cram all that information, all the HUD information in a small area, but it's kind of good for making sure you stay active and sound the horn. Wish Apple Watch would let us sound the horn. Something maybe to look into. I've often said that MouseHunt is the perfect kind of game for watch, whereas other ones you're sitting there and it's kind of a complex interface to cram onto a watch face. But MouseHunt's kind of the perfect game because it's really just one button every 15 minutes. Eric asks, will there be any changes to adding friends with the new account management system? No. So that was sort of, we're slowly rolling out these features to try to make Facebook less mandatory. I think this is the last piece of the puzzle now, but the friend system was sort of a first step in that direction. Is it possible to change your username? I believe it will be possible to change your username. I think right now even you can change your username. Let me double check. I've never changed it myself, so let me see. Yeah, modify login information, and yeah, username. You can change it right now. So if you go to Help and then User Preferences, there's a link that says Modify Login Information. You can type in your new username. Now the interfaces are going to be a little more snazzy, a little easier to use after the update, but I'd assume we wouldn't lose that functionality. When is the Winter Hunt coming? Sometime in December. Ryan Do loves the Golem rewards. They are handsome. Glad to hear it. Google Home horn sound, and that would be fun to play with. Sort of a technical limitation we have now that MouseHunt's over 10 years old is some of the way that the code runs makes it hard to bring the game to new platforms, or there's certain difficulties and a lot of maintenance and upkeep when we do that. So it's a bit of a big decision. That is sort of a pipe dream of ours to sort of overhaul a lot of the way the game is coded to make it a lot easier to interact with more clients, would be the technical term. Will we soon be able to send supplies, not gifts, to non-friends? That is in the pipeline. That's something we're working on. We just have to kind of test it, take care of a few loose ends. New traps basis for Great Winter Hunt, I'm guessing. A little early because it's a little indeterminate. Hopefully next week we're going to kind of get together again and firm that up. We have a lot of ideas. But the current plan, and we get some feedback on, is to go quite epic. We got some time to put it together. So we're thinking of doing quite a few different limited edition traps for the Great Winter Hunt. Cover a lot of the different power types as well. A lot of different sort of range and sort of the areas that they would be useful in, so there'd be hopefully something for everybody. Nico says, Dave, the login information is only the username which you log in, not the one shown on your profile. Yes, you'll be able to change your name as well, so your display name. Right now, the only way to have a display name is to connect to Facebook, and then it'll use your Facebook profile to get your actual name, but you will be able to change that as well. Any way to share, save favorite Golem images? That's an interesting suggestion. I'll write that down as well. I think that was on our mind last year, but last year was quite hectic towards the end. We were a little behind schedule putting together the Great Winter Hunt. I know we kind of ended up burning the midnight oil a few times. We did want to add a share button, if I recall, but we were already working overtime. But we have a much wider berth now. We got a lot more runway ahead of us to put together the Great Winter Hunt. Does the watch and ad function still work in the app? It is there. It's not enabled right now, so currently we're not running any free super briefer ad thing. MH 4.0 longer tail, says Matthew. It's something we're thinking about. We've definitely done some proof of concept stuff to kind of do the next MouseHunt 4.0, if you will. When is the Queso expansion coming out? Asks Tarako. No timeline yet. It might be the first release after event season. That might be where that ends up getting slotted in, but no way to say for sure. I've done a little bit of the balance already for mouse catch rates and stuff like that. The art team's pretty well done, all the mice, I think. So it's coming along well. But that's going to kind of go on hold while we work on the Great Winter Hunt. Any hint on the type of trap for the Great Winter Hunt, asks Chong. It's going to be more than one, I think, anyway. The current idea is to have quite a few, so there's something for everybody, cover a lot of the power types. They may have special effects in certain areas, and there might be a few to cover, a few low-level areas, a few high-level areas, a few mid-game areas. So May says, Ben, don't hold me to it, but I would think that would be the latest, would be sometime in April or May. But again, we're kind of, that release we don't even have any timelines on. We've sort of spec'd out the whole thing. We have all these tasks. Here's what we need to do to finish it. But we haven't even set due dates. And it's been, hey, when you don't have something else to do, we start working on that, sort of something to help fill the gaps. But now, actually just yesterday, planned out all the timelines of the Great Winter Hunt, spec'd out the whole thing. It's going to take about 5 weeks to put it all together. So we're all sort of tasked up now, and we're going to be focused on the Great Winter Hunt. So shift gears to the final point here, and you can see up in the corner is something marketplace related. So we've also been working on a overhaul to the marketplace, and we've been making some good progress there. The goal of it is to combine the browser version and the mobile version of the marketplace. So the mobile version has the exchange, and the browser version has the marketplace. And if you can't, the exchange, you can't buy things from the marketplace, and the marketplace, you can't buy things from the exchange. So we're going to combine them all into one marketplace. You'll be able to access the same buy and sell offers from both browser and mobile, and you'll be able to make purchases and sell in between the two different versions of the marketplace, vice versa. The overhauled system is going to end up using the buy and sell system that the mobile app currently does, so that's a lot more convenient. You can, if you don't have to. If somebody's selling 200 orbs, you don't have to buy all 200. You could sell your 200 orbs. You could sell 1 to 200 different people, but to you, it's sort of seamless. You just say, "Hey, I want to sell 200 of this for 1,000 each," and boom, it's done. Here you go. You may have sold to 1 person, to 2 people, to 3 people. It's just kind of seamless that way. Any reason why the Ember Prison Core is a Lord weapon? That might be a bit of an error, actually. Double check that. Ember Prison Core weapons. Ember Prison Core. It's probably a little data entry error. That said, it'd be quite impossible, I think, to obtain that without being a Baron. Is it Baron? Count. Oops, that's the wrong project. MouseHunt. Boom. Ember Prison is Lord. Ah, yeah, I'll make a note of that, because that should probably, not that it has any sort of ramification, but that's probably a data entry error. That should be count, I believe. Ooh, too many windows open now. Where am I going? All right. Daniel asks, for marketplace combine buy and sell tables together for easier comparison. Yeah, that's an interesting suggestion as well. Hopefully we can kind of calculate the average price to help show you that as well. How about more trap synergies for Great Winter Hunt traps and bases? It's an interesting suggestion as well. As one of the ideas we had as well, so it's good to kind of see similar feedback. Deadwood Plank Base has a point requirement, not a title requirement. Same with the time split dissonance. I'll write that down as well. That might be a bit of a weirdness. Instead of title requirement. And we had a lot going on with the Mausoleum. We were doing the sort of the adventure book overhaul, the title requirement change, the burrows, the Mausoleum, and the lab overhaul, and the Halloween were all happening simultaneously while we were working on the Queso Canyon expansion as well. So there was maybe a few little details slipped through the cracks because we maybe bit off a little more than we could chew, but we got through it. I think Dave said time split would stay as a point requirement. Kind of open to feedback there. I did end up checking. It was a suggestion during Feedback Friday was see, did any Grand Dukes actually own the time split dissonance? And the answer was 2 of them did, and they were pretty close to Archduke. But there were some Grand Dukes, but I think actually neither of them could equip it yet anyway. I didn't find a Grand Duke who had the time split dissonance who also had 1 billion points. So with that in mind, I thought I set it to be Archduke, knowing that it wouldn't really affect anyone currently. Yeah, as Michelle pointed out, if you do notice anything a little bit weird or unintended, whether you think it's a bug or a gameplay error or something doesn't look quite right, you can report it through support. At the top of the game, you can hit the Contact Us button and submit a bug report if you think something's not quite working right, and that'll filter its way through, and eventually we'll get a bug report open, and that gets assigned to a developer and fixed is the plan. Steve said they probably got boosted to Archduke with the new adventure points. That's probably true, yeah. If you did all the adventures, you got a nice little boost. 1 bill points is basically AS. I think you mean Archduke line anyway. Yeah, it was tough to be Grand Duke and have 1 billion points unless you were doing really weird things. Jonathan says, seems silly to be able to acquire the time split distance at Grand Duke but not equip it then. That was sort of the awkwardness as well, but that is kind of currently how it is. I think the sort of intention there is it's an above and beyond reward, but we kind of debated as well. It was just a big change because right now it's 1 billion, and realistically it's hard to be Grand Duke with 1 billion points. Frank would like a new New Year's mouse. We'll see. We're getting a little hesitant because, and interesting to see what hunters think as well. There's a lot of event mice, especially in the Great Winter Hunt category, and it does get things, or it does make things tricky as we put together the events because we have to include all these mice, and as we have more and more, then they become individually they become quite rare. Like imagine if we had 50 mice in the encounter pool, even if you set them all to the exact same encounter rate, then that means 2% each. So, you know, when you're looking for a specific one, on average it takes 50 hunts, which means certainly it's not that unlikely to go 100, 200, 300 hunts without seeing it. Did you miss my ask about tourneys and LE traps bases? I think maybe I did. Double and triple drop coming back for the Lunar New Year? Probably. A little early to say, but we had a lot of positive feedback, so I think we would do that. Small buff to your trap while using event skin while the event is active. That's interesting to give skins a little flair just during the event season. Be interesting to see what other hunters think of that. I like it not being a permanent effect, but a little, you know, a little encouragement to dress up your trap with a festive trap skin just during the Great Winter Hunt. Talk of moving some great horn hunt mouse to the mountain, perhaps slushy shoreline too. Yeah, we thought about it a bit, ended up not going ahead with it. We did move Mouse Vina, though with the Burrows update, that felt like a good fit, that she could sort of be the final boss mouse in the mausoleum. No, don't do that. Skins are for show. Yeah, for sure. A kind of yeah, mixed bag could be seen both ways. I don't know if there's a skin you prefer. As soon as one has stats, it feels like, you know, oh, I should be using this rather than being purely cosmetic. But it's an interesting suggestion just during an event or something like that. Have a very temporary time to have, you know, it might be neat. You go to all your friends and you see they all have the festive dressed up traps. That said, I tend to do that anyway. If there's a festive trap skin for the trap I'm using during the Great Winter Hunt, I tend to pick that one anyway to get in the festive spirit. And I just realized I didn't make a reward link, or I didn't ask Larry to, so let me make one of those before asking the trivia question for the week. All right, Larry, where are you? There you are, Larry. And the date today is the 26th of October. All right, Larry's cooking up a link. Thank you, Larry. Test the link. Slowly loading. And yes, it works. All right, success. 48 is not the correct answer. I had a feeling as soon as I tabbed back over here that there'd be a guess of 48. So this week's trivia question, maybe I'll go, ooh, double, whoa. Get out of here. So this week's trivia question is, it's not on my screen anymore. During last year's winter hunt, which mouse could you attract by arming a Let It Snow charm? Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Julia just noticed that hat placement on the other layout. Glad you noticed. When I was deciding where to put that, I thought that would be a good spot. Is it 48 though? No, it's not. The 48 mouse is incorrect. Frigid Foreman is incorrect. Oh, Brian's close, but you made a typo. He corrected his typo. Yes, it was the Snow Golem Architect. So arming a Let It Snow charm, and you could encounter the Snow Golem Architect. Architect. That's hard to say. Whoa. Don't need a line return. There we go. Snow Golem. Architect is hard to spell. Architect. There we go. Is correct. Reward links coming in the chat. Courtesy of Larry. Hope there will be a Christmas Rift trap available for comeback hunters or newbies in new area. Else it's too painful. Maybe. We're looking at doing quite a few different power types as limited edition rewards for Christmas, so Rift's a potential candidate. For Sandblasted Metal, says Dustin. I just tested it a minute ago, so you can't, no anxiety can be washed over me. Sometimes I prepare it the night before, and then there's a little hesitation. And you have to collude at least. Everyone's saying that the link is something that isn't. You all have to say the same thing simultaneously, and then that'd be a much more convincing prank. 48 bait keeps. That'd be a lot of bait keeps from Larry. I'll be small again. Ooh, and I'm gone. I'll be small again. I'll spare you all from the giant camera. 3 winter charms. Somebody tell a truthful person in the chat. Yes, it was 3 winter charms with a bonus Let It Snow. Advent Dave asks Michelle. Yes, the Advent calendar will make a return. That'll come out probably a little bit before December. We usually put it out a few days before so you can start opening the doors on day 1. Frank says, really loved the 12 Days of Christmas event. Any chance of doing that again? We did try to do that again. It was a few years ago where we had 12 mice and you were lighting up some lights on the HUD as you caught the 12 mice of Christmas. But it didn't have quite the same charm. I think some of it's nostalgia. Some of it is sort of where the game was at the time. Because that's probably a good 7 or 8 years ago we did that. Speaking of bait keeps, any thoughts on the queso theme? Yeah, it's a tricky decision whether, because it have to be a bit of a community consensus whether we should lower the requirement on that journal theme. Matthew asks, long-term Rift expansions, the plan or other new areas? Currently, the sort of working plan, we're doing a Queso Canyon expansion. That's going to kind of flesh out the Draconic power type a little bit, let you put some of those, or account level hunters, let them put some of those traps to use. And then beyond that, we really we want, and I think we need, an Archduke level area in the game as well. So I think that's slotted for next. We were sort of, it's throwing around all sorts of different ideas now for what feels like a couple years. But I think we're finally narrowing in on an exact idea that we like. The Valor Rift could just go for the Eclipse mouse. That would be interesting, actually, at a King's Gauntlet Rift. Probably have it work a little differently, though. Ryan likes both the new skins. Yeah, I think they're pretty nice. I was using the Spooky Chrome Temporal Turbine skin myself. I think it looks pretty neat. And Lauren painted that. Why is the Ghost Ship Lollipop skin not available this year? It is a skin for a limited edition trap, so the skin itself is also limited edition. $500 is kind of crazy, but so is 500 gold for Rift Acolyte boxes. I think that's at least a little different, is because there's nothing new and unique that you get from the gold box from the Rift Acolyte. It is kind of pure gravy, or you've unlocked the ability now that you will find a rune every single time you capture the Absolute Acolyte. Whereas the journal theme, there's no other way to get it other than gold crowning Inferna first, not Inferna. I already forget the name of that mouse now. Queen quesada, of course. Delicious. Dave, thanks again. Have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by, Matthew. Thanks for joining us. Queen quesada, Julia helped me out as well. Yep. Beat me to it. White mouse, says Dennis. I don't think it's the white mouse. All right, on that note, we'll wrap things up. So thanks for joining me, hunters. There's 2 of me for some reason. Get out of here. Second clone Dave. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, hunters. We'll see you next week. I believe it'll probably be Jacob. We'll be painting something next week for Feedback Friday. Maybe something Great Winter Hunt related. We'll see. We'll see what he has in store. So until next time, happy hunting. Good luck. I'm still here. Still here. The camera is still there. And I'm fading away.